Okay, so I'm going to try my best to show you guys how to do this. I have a piece of paper. Currently, there are 0 folds in this piece of paper, and so I have 1 layer. All right, so I'm going to continue this table. Let me get my pen. All right, and I'm going to say, okay, well, let's see what happens after I have 1 fold. Okay, so after 1 fold in my piece of paper, I now have, let's say I have this bottom layer, so that's 1 layer, and this top layer, which is 2 layers. All right, so I'm going to put the 2 here. And I also have to think about this process. All right, so the 1 is gonna stay the same. The 2 is going to stay the same. And if we can look up here, I'm going to color code this. This 0 was this little exponent here. Okay, so it was 0 before. And then 1 times 2 to the 0 gives me 1. Now it's not 0 anymore, right? Now it's 1. So instead of raising 2 to the power of 0, I'm now going to raise 2 to the power of 1. Okay, and that's going to be my process. All right, I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm going to do another fold. All right, so that would be, let me get another color. That would now be there's 2 folds now. So I've done this 2 times. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. So the 4 is going to go here. And then I'm going to continue the process. The 1 is going to stay the same. The 2 is going to stay the same. And now instead of this little 1 here, I'm going to put a 2 because I have made 2 folds. And if you do the math, well, 1 times 2 squared is 4. 4 times 1 is 4, which is the number of layers. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I have now made 3 folds. Let me get another color. 3 folds. I'm going to continue my process. 1 times 2 to the 3rd, right? Because that little exponent tells me the number of folds I've made. And I can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers of paper. Okay. Now it's going to start getting really hard to keep folding. All right. I did the 4th fold. Let me get another color. I'm going to follow this pattern or this process. So I'm going to have 1 times 2 instead of raised to the 3rd power. Now I have 4 folds. So it's going to be raised to the 4th power. This is really hard for me to actually count. So I'm going to do the math. 2 to the 4th power, well, that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's going to give me actually 16. So I'm going to trust my math now instead of counting 16 layers. I'm going to keep going. If I make a 5th fold, this is getting like tiny. It's getting really hard to fold. Look how small that is. I'm going to continue my pattern. 1 times 2 to the 5th. Now, I can do a couple things. I can predict based on what I see happening here. I'm going to do that. I'm seeing that things are multiplying by 2. Okay, so I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to guess it's 32. Well, let me check my math. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. All right, and then last but not least, I don't even think I can physically fold this one more time. Yeah, I can't. Well, kind of, but I definitely can't count all of those. But based on math, which tells us patterns, right? I am going to predict and be pretty certain that I now have 64 layers of paper.